What's up, everybody? Welcome Squad and welcome to Slav Guns on Tour. We're at SHOT Show 2023 and we're at a booth, an optics booth that many of you have already seen in the past, right here on our channel. And I'm excited to be here with Matt to talk about some of the newer products that came out. A couple that I totally did not expect. One that has been probably one of the worst kept secrets on your channel. 100%. And then possibly, it looks like out of the corner of my eye, there's something completely out of left field that I don't know whether it belongs here or not. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But first of all, thank you very much for having me here. I know one of the things that you had almost immediately before SHOT Show is a couple of new Helix scopes. So people on the channel are familiar with the Helix, which brings an affordable optic, second focal plane, first focal plane, that they can put on a rifle and go out there whether they're looking to hunt or get into long-range shooting. And then you have the Titan, which I think at under $1,000 is one of the best scopes, the most feature-packed scopes that somebody can do, and is currently sitting on my competition ELR 22 rifle, just due to the features and that. But talk to us about these two new scopes and kind of like who the target market is and how they differ, because it took me a little while to kind of figure out, well, which one.
Yeah, absolutely. So the backstory is that when we developed the original Helix scopes, it was sort of more aimed towards as a budget precision rifle scope, and obviously to keep costs down and keep it affordable and put that money more into the mechanics of it, keep it reliable. We left that non-illuminated, and we found that there were a lot of people, especially hunters, who were asking for illumination for hunting. And we decided, instead of just plonking illumination on the existing scope, if these are hunters asking for this, then why not just make the scope more suitable for hunters? So we changed the magnification range to 2 to 16 instead of the 4 to 16 and 6 to 24 we had, which is super versatile magnification range. We illuminated it, and we made it second focal plane, and we gave it HD glass so that you just get that extra crisp image, and that's needed for that 8x zoom range, right? So we then ended up kind of, because we're located in different parts of the world, myself in South Africa, Shane in the US, Henrik and Johan in Sweden, we all have different opinions on what hunting looks like, right? I mean, hunting in the Western US versus Eastern US is different.
Completely different.
And so we ended up, instead of trying to make an a jack of all trades and a master of none, we thought, let's make two variants that are very suited to the specific types of hunting. So the one you've got here is the Helix HD. It's got capped elevation and capped windage.
Here, I'll hand this to you.
Sure.
And then you can go over that.
So Helix HD, capped elevation and capped windage. You want to keep it as low profile, as simple as possible. Okay. There's no zero stop on this model. We do include thread protector rings for elevation and windage. So if you want to run it exposed, you can, and it does track very well. So you can dial it if you want to, but this is for people who don't often dial. This also has a BDC reticle, which is very, very simplified. So we wanted to make a simple crosshair, but thought, okay, let's add a couple hash marks for someone who does need to take that 200, 300 yard shot and needs something to reference back. So the BDC reticle is in here with an illuminated center dot. So I'd say more aimed towards the European or Eastern US hunter, which is shooting at close range, possibly at dawn or dusk, shooting whitetail deer, that kind of thing. So that's. And
I'd probably say even maybe like somebody who wants to get into longer range shooting, but the first time you hand a rifle scope to somebody that has a Christmas tree reticle, lots of exposed turrets, where like they get lost easily in it. But BDC kind of is almost like a stepping stone into that.
Yeah, 100%. It takes away the need to learn MIL and MOA, right? It's one less step to learn instead of dumping all the information on you. So we found we're hoping that this will kind of bring the guys who aren't used to the more complex stuff that we're doing, make them more aware of our brand and give them something that's reliable and works great for their purposes.
And the BDC reticle, the holdovers in there, how does somebody determine it kind of like at what distance that is going to be?
So you can either do it manually by actually going out, shooting at different ranges and seeing at what point of your reticle your bullet's actually landing and at what magnification. And what's nice about a second focal plane reticle with the BDC is you can actually sort of calibrate it for your cartridge. So with the HD, at 8 times magnification, This is calibrated for a 308 Winchester shooting a 168 grain
Okay.
soft point hunting bullet, which is
Okay.
like as standard as you get. That's what, when you get a ballistics calculator app, that's the standard load, right? But if you put it at 10 times, it's pretty much dead nuts perfect for a 6.5 Creedmoor shooting a 143 grain LDX.
Which is going to be a little
which
bit
is
more
a
flatter
more
shoot.
standard PRS load. So somewhere around the sort of 6 to 12 magnification range, it's going to match with your cartridge very, very closely. And just by playing with the magnification, you can get it to match and then make a note of which magnification you need to leave it if you're going to use the whole points.
And I'm sure you know it's not like one of the beauty of being a gun owner today is the fact that brands, I mean, you have shooting communities.
Yeah.
So Element has definitely, I mean, you guys are relatively new to the market, but I mean, you've made a really big splash. There's lots of people who follow Element. So I'm sure as people are going to be getting their hands on this, they'll be playing with the loads, and you'll probably be able to go on the forums and find out, hey, at what I have this load that I'm shooting, I have this caliber. What do you guys think is going to be the ideal magnification where it holds true?
Exactly, and what we've also done is, obviously some people don't want to have to shoot at a set magnification for their rifle. So let's say you want to shoot at 16 times for whatever rifle you have. We include round stickers in the box that you basically stick into your flip cap over here, and you can write the actual drop at that distance for whatever magnification, whatever load you're using, which means that it's right there. If you're ever under stress, if you're hunting, you just look, oh, that's 215 yards that hash mark lines up with. I know that's where I need to aim.
Yeah. And I guess one of the things that's different on here, and you have the number 8 highlighted in red, is because with a lot of second focal plane reticle rifle scopes that have BDC, it's generally like the BDC holds are set for like the highest magnification, and it's not on here for, I guess, for the reasons you highlighted.
Yeah, if it's not calibrated for your rifle at the highest, and you need to go up and you can't because you're at the highest, then that doesn't work. So we wanted to put it somewhere more in the middle.
Okay. All right. So that is that guy. And how does it differ from the long range one?
So we recognize that a lot of hunters, especially, I'm from South Africa or out here in the West where terrain's a bit more open, you may be shooting over a valley or whatever, you need to get ballistic data from a calculator or whatever, and you need to dial it in. So this is still very much a hunting scope, but we've got an exposed elevation turret, the same turret as on the rest of our Helix line, which is actually probably one of my favorite turrets in the whole line. Just the click spacing, the feel, everything is spot on.
And I think under $1,000, you definitely, I mean, you're the standard for turrets, for turret feel.
Yeah, it's awesome. Zero stop in here too, so you've got that feature, and 100 MOA of elevation travel, which is actually crazy for a hunting for a hunting scope. And then obviously all the same, everything else is exactly the same. It's just the turret that's different. And then instead of a BDC reticle, we've got our APR 1C MOA or MRAD reticle.
And we'll overlay it on the video so you guys can see it.
Yeah, it's still a very simple reticle, maybe a bit complicated for people who are not used to anything other than a simple crosshair, but it's simple as far as most other reticles we do go. Very, very simple. And as you can see, that is calibrated at 16 times magnification. So we've highlighted there 16 times. Being a second focal plane, needs to be at 16 for you to actually use the subtensions.
Okay. So, and I guess this would be great for somebody. I know we have a lot of people on the channel who tell me, hey, I just went hunting for elk at 800 yards out west. Which anybody on the East Coast are like, if you get a shot past 50 yards, that's like a long distance. But this would be basically catered to those types of people.
100%. Parallax down to 10 meters or yards on both as well. So very, very versatile. Put it on an air gun if you want, put on whatever you want. But I'd say just because it's not catered for precision rifle shooters, doesn't mean it's not capable. This tracks just as well as every other model we make. And so all those opportunities are there, and I think it's probably the most versatile scope we've ever made.
So what's the price point? What's the availability on these?
Availability, there's plenty.
Okay.
Price, we'll have to ask our buddies here in the US, but we can overlay that. All I know is it sits almost perfectly in the middle between the Helix and Titan range.
Okay, perfect.
Having the sort of Titan HD glass, but a lot of the Helix features.
Okay, very cool.
It's around $600 retail.
Very cool. So we have scopes at, I guess I would say entry level, but I mean not cheap. Not cheap in terms of quality. I mean very feature packed. Then I guess your original entry to this was the Nexus, which was a fantastic scope. Then you kind of went back, you did the Titan, you did the Helixes, you backfilled these to address the hunting market. I guess let's talk about probably the worst kept secret that you guys have had for the last 6 months, but just introducing, and I guess it's that guy.
Perfect. I'm going to put this down
Yes.
so I can access that.